starring? The episode starring. Huh? Yeah, Dizzy's Heart, whatever. Look, let's bring her. Trixie knows we're all excited for the new Sonic movie, almost as much as we are for an MCU movie. But we do have a show to do. How about this? We do this next chapter, and Trixie won't have your job! Yes, ma'am! The fall pony screamed, so did the elements. A blizzard blew from the wind within the Wendigo. It covered the icy room in layers of snow. Pillars of ice, which looked like the extra legs sprouting from the Wendigo's body. Let it go, can't hold me back anymore. Let it go, and I'm one with the wind and sky. Tracy yelled as a chunk of hail glanced off her ear. Go away! C yelled at the Wendigo, finding Charlie's side. Or we'll use your elements on you, will! Use an illusion, Trixie! Roared Dress, who doesn't speak equestrian! Working on it! Meanwhile, the fall ponies were backed up against the far wall. Iceheart standing on Silver Sculptor's back. His face held a mixture of awe and horror as he looked at his father. Dad! He cried. Don't hurt Auntie, stop! No, don't listen to the kid! Hurt her! Hurt her! You know, I am partly excited that she's frozen stiff, but at the same time, as I said last time, now that Cheerlee's frozen, I can't enjoy it. The Wendigo hissed as the words themselves were painful and stomped a hoof. The blizzard intensified, and Ditsy yelled as ice shards began to smack against her coat. Hing! Ditsy turned to see Carrot Top's chief chattering. We need to stop the storm or we'll all freeze! I know! Said Trixie, her horn was flickering. But it's not working! The wind suddenly reversed course and began to flow back out of the room, sending broken knickknacks and torn paintings hurling behind the Wendigo and out into the winter wasteland beyond the hotel. Dizzy felt herself begin to be dragged towards the monster, but managed to grab onto a heavy couch and hold tight. Dizzy heard a squeak behind her. Ice Heart! Indeed, the foal was gripping onto Silver Sculptor as tightly as the wind clutched down and tried to bring him closer to his father. Dad, stop! He cried. Stop it! Stop! Stop! The Wendigo locked eyes on him, and the wind stopped. For a moment, there was clearly stillness in the room. When the Wendigo stepped forwards, it reached one hoof towards the sun, but yanked it away as soon as it grew close. With an unnaturally loud sound, a crack burst into existence along his leg. The Wendigo stumbled backwards, its legs still completely out of sync with its body. Then it turned to the Volt Ponies with glowing eyes. You still can't touch Ice Heart, thought Dizzy. That was his friends there, but that means he'll just try to destroy them. Well, you could kill Silver Sculptress, Mr. Wendigo, sir. Trixie's horn flared up, and as bright as Dizzy had ever seen it. Suddenly the room was an inferno. Dizzy cried out as a flame went against her back leg, and in front of her, Cheerily and Poussin seemed to melt into ash. Even as her mind told her this was impossible, she felt herself backing away from the burning heat. She held her wings forwards in a desperate attempt to shield her face from the flames. When somewhere within the smoke and flames, the Wendigo roared with the fury of a blizzard. The sound cut out after a few moments, and several seconds later, the fire did as well. Cheerily gasped as the icy room returned to existence and had to fight to hug the intact, though still frozen Cheerily. What happened? He asked. Trixie was panting. Sweat ran down her body in rivulets and froze as it hit frigid ground. Firestorm illusion. Figured it might come in handy for this trip. Where's Ice Heart? Ditsy turned to the Volt Ponies, who were still pressed against the fallen wall. Orzarine was looking around. Ice Heart, what did you... Tim pointed at a little icy footprint in the snow near the door. Pointed back towards the rest of the hotel, he ran off. Silver Sculptor gasped for a moment before a scowl crossed her face. Of course he did! He's afraid of fire! Him being part ice and all. She stalked towards Trixie. What were you thinking, you idiot? You could have traumatized him! Oh, fuck you! What? No, it wasn't real fire. How was he supposed to know that? Roared Silver. What, because you made it so only the Wendigo could feel the illusion? No, how could you? You're the element of magic. You're supposed to be good at it, screamed the sculptor. You shouldn't be scaring the place you're supposed to protect. She did a lot more than you. I'm with raindrops on this. Raindrops put herself behind Silver and Trixie. Carry against the wall. Yeah, fat lot of use you were. We're artists, snapped Bounty. Not necessarily heroes like yourselves. We expected you to handle it. Oh, sure. You say that because you're a coward. We expected you to handle it. That was your function here, was it not? The reason why this ice thing brought you here treated you so royally. She did handle it, Lyra thrust her fam. The Wendigo's gone, isn't he? And stop! The ponies all turned to Ditzy. This is the Wendigo's fault, she said, speaking as quickly as she could. It's making us hate each other so it can freeze us, see? She gestured at Silver's hooves, which were being coated by a rapidly forming layer of ice. As the sculptor yelled began to kick her way out, Ditzy turned back to the others. We can't let it win. We have to stay calm and be nice to each other, or we'll end up like them. She nodded and pushed onto Charlie. Orange Ring tapped with the Vice Ring. Are they dead? No, Charlie is the main character, so she can't die. Which means if she can survive this means Poussons can survive that. Not according to the legends, said Lyra. The tribe leaders who were frozen by the Wendigo thawed out and were fine once the Wendigo was driven off. So as long as we could kick its flank, they should be okay. But we drove it off, began Tim, just as the howling wind, while still blowing to the room through the hole in the wall, began to pick up. Not for long, said Trixie. The elements ran to Shirley and began trying to pick her up, but she was solidly frozen to the ground. The full ponies, in the meanwhile, were trying to do the same for Poussons. No, do it, demanded Bunty. You'll be here any minute, Trixie grit her teeth. Come on! She roared, starting the frozen teacher alongside Raindrops and Carrot Top, but no avail. Meanwhile, the wind had increased to a fever pitch. Ditzy bent and lugged against it, tried to kick away at the ice trapping on Shirley's hooves, but she could tell it was going to work. Come on! She repeated, come! A sea of ice flew through the hole in the lounge and shattered against the back wall, rubbing into several chunks out of the wall. Ditzy yelped and was only able to shield her eyes in time to avoid getting hit by icy shards. Trixie stumbled backwards, and Ditzy saw she was bleeding from a small cut below her horn. Guys, we're stuck, she hissed. Then more loudly, okay, some of us need to retreat. What? Yelled Raindrops and Silver at the same time. We can't do anything for them now, but we can drive out the Wendigo. Maybe we can figure something out. Trixie sighed. Lyra, you and I are going to have to fight this thing with magic. The rest of you run. You have your friends abandon the fight, Reen? That's it. Oh, don't worry, Wendigo. I got something for you. He thinks he can handle me here. Let's see, where did I put that? No. Sing! Is that for us, man? Yeah. Wham! Frostbrand resists the ice pony attacks. For a moment, Trixie looked like she was going to kick Silver, but Ditzy wrapped her wing around her, so all she could think of, and the soulmare calmed. As I was saying, Raindrops, Carrot Top, find all the servants and get them out of here. There's other buildings in this stupid town, so put them somewhere. And Ditzy, yes? Ditzy had to raise her hoist to be heard above the shrieking wind. More balls of ice were flying through the hole in the wall now. Find Ice Heart. If we can't get rid of the go, he'll be going after his kid next. You need to keep him safe, can you? Before Trixie could finish, the Wendigo returned. Sharp icicles formed on the ground in lines extending from its hooves, and Trixie's and the others had to rear back to avoid being impaled. Go! Yelled Trixie. She saw an illusionary fireball at the Wendigo. Beside her, Lyra sired her wing and started playing a discordant chord. Ditzy's last glimpse of them, before she ran out after her friends, was the two of them dodging away from the ice that seemed to form out of nowhere and reach out towards them with grasping claws. Then she was charging down the hallway, Raindrops and Carrot Tops in front of her, the wind howling at her back. Whoa! Ditzy skidded to a halt with Raindrops at Carrot Top. The latter, the mayor who had spoken, looked around. We're near the staff areas. Kitchen, laundry, and service bar. Raindrops, let's clear them out. Let me back here. Where is here? Cried Ditzy. She wasn't familiar with this part of the head tell. Carrot Top pointed a sculpture near them. Okay, we'll beat that by the statue of the gargoyles sacrificing a pony to T-Rex. None of them spoke for a moment. Remind me again when we're staying here, said Raindrops. Further comment was forestalled by a blast of cold air and the sounds of a distant explosion. Ditzy gave a quick nod to the others. I'll find Ice Heart! Save the servants! And then with a quick jump, she was galloping down the hall. Right! She said to herself. Find Ice Heart. Let Raindrops and Carrot Top deal with all the 5th Street's other minions. And if all ponies are with Tracy and Lyra, unless they ran away, which they all probably did, the cowards. That's 0 point in, she trailed off. Oh no. There was one more fall pony who wasn't with the others, and who, as far as Ditzy knew, had no idea what was going on. For a moment, her heart clenched as she was tempted to find Ice Heart first. The other pony had been awful to her, knocked her out on the wall, and hadn't even seemed to want anything to do with her. But Ditzy did with the element of kindness. She was going to do anything to help any pony who needed it, even if she was running from her life. And even the other pony was cruel, so she flew up 2 flights of stairs and raced to the door which housed the 7th Vault pony, the one who stood her away 2 nights prior. Get out! She called. We're under attack! Who? Attack? The response was instantaneous. From who? The Wendigo. Your first puts us in! The door opened. And despite all that had happened, despite the Wendigo and Charlie being frozen, and everything going around her, Ditzy was stunned silent by the pony she saw. The mare was tall, unusually so. She had a white coat with long wings, and a big white horn that tapered to a 5 point. Her mane was yellowish-white, as was her cueing mark, was looking like a ball of fire. It was Corona that stood before her, except it wasn't. The mare wasn't as quite as tall as Corona, like the fiery mane. She also looked more overly muscular than the tyrant son, as he spent time working out, instead of exploring an unchanging Alicorn physique. Then there was the side of her face, which featured several faded, but still noticeable scars. This wasn't a tyrant son. It was a Pegasus unicorn hybrid who looked somewhat similar. Ditzy saw her, and realized whom Pusats had been referring to when she said the fold had some ponies that would not be tolerated to the outside world. She had met the tyrant son. She could tell the difference, and she was still tempted to flee in terror. How much worse would it be for those who knew no difference between the mare before her and the monster that haunted the nightmares of ponies all over Equestria? Well, I could assume that, if she wasn't throwing fireballs, it wouldn't be her. Where? The pony demanded. Her horn glowed, and several bracelets, necklaces, and strips of rune-covered metal appeared all over her body. The male mare took a breath and got herself under control. The pony before her was not the tyrant's son. She was an innocent bystander who needed help. The antechamber out the main lounge. Well, fast, the high prince's horn lit up, and her body was enveloped in flame. I'll rescue her, said the other pony. Stand aside. No, you need to flee. Trixie and Lyra will protect. The mare's eyes flashed. I will not allow the 5th Street to come to harm. She hissed as she began to run. In seconds, he had crossed the hall, blasted through the wall, blocking her off from the stairs, and vanished. Trixie stared for a moment, before reminding herself that she had more work to do. She turned on her hoof and headed out to Wayward to find Ice Heart. The task at first seemed daunting to her. Ice Heart had run away and could be anywhere in the hotel, not to mention the endless snowy wastes outside. But even though they only met a few days ago, Ditzy was pretty sure she had a good idea where Ice Heart would be. He wouldn't run too far as long as Auntie was in trouble, and that meant he would definitely be either in or near the hotel. In the area around the hotel, he, a snow-loving half-Wendigo, would be most comfortable was. She burst into the inner courtyard and saw 2 eyes blinking at her from deep under a pile of snow. Ice Heart! She said, stopping near him. Ice Heart! Don't worry, I'm here. It's okay now. Ice Heart wiggled deeper in the snow. Nuh-uh, he said in the hoarse voice of a pony who had been crying. Yes, I swear, it's not okay. It'll never be okay, Ice Heart sniffed. Auntie Pusat's protected me. She kept me safe from all the mean ponies. And now she's frozen. No pony will protect me, and the mean ponies won't get anywhere near you! Ditsy gently tugged Ice Heart out. Part of her was screaming to get him on her back, and as far away from the hotel as he could run. They hurried to the train station and commandeered the best available engine to flee Stalingrad, or Canterlot, or in that matter, Miami Beach. But she retrained herself. I promise. How? Buzos was the only one who could do that, because he had enough money to build me a home where mean ponies can't go. Oh, buddy, she's got you weak! I could get you to a home with no mean ponies either, and that includes your auntie, thought Ditsy. But she didn't say it. Her thoughts felt clearer than he had before. She knew how to avoid hearing the fall. Let me guess. I'll promise I'll find some way to fix your Auntie Poussons, and to protect you till she's better, so she can take care of you again. She smiled. I think you promise even. Ice Hearts were big. You won't leave her? I thought you didn't like her. Ditsy paused. I don't, she mid. But I am a knight of the realm, and part of that means it's my responsibility to protect all ponies, even those I don't like. The foal still looked skeptical. But it's like this, said Ditsy. Imagine if you did something that made your auntie mad. Like, it's not a very expensive plate or something. She'd be upset, wouldn't she? Ice Heart nodded. But she'd still protect you from all those mean ponies, wouldn't she? Even if she didn't like you at the time? The foal considered for a long moment before nodding again. Yeah. It's the same thing. I disagree with your auntie on, well, everything, except maybe what flavor ice cream is best. But she's a fellow pony, so I'll do whatever I possibly can to help her. Just like I'll do whatever I can to help you. Ditsy gently picked up Ice Heart with her wings. Doesn't matter whether you're a commoner or a vice reign. For a moment, it looked like Ice Heart was going to go for it, but then he shook his head. Maybe you'll help the vice reign, he conceded. But all the normal ponies are scared of me. And even though you got cool eyes, you're still almost normal. Why would you or any pony else help me? Like I said, you're a pony. I'm not scared of you. But even if I were, I still help you. Just like I helped Tim, even though he's related to Sombra. Or like I helped that hybrid who was a little like Corona. You met Solar Flare? Gasped Ice Heart. You helped her? But she told me no pony outside the vault would be nice to her. Because he was like the Tyrant Son. Ice Heart paused. I mean, she's why there's a vault. Auntie bumped into her, took her in, and realized there would be other ponies like her. So she began looking for them. But you helped her? Of course. I saw her. And I said the Wendigo was coming. I told her where he was so she could get ready. She charged out to help fight for the vice ring. Ditsy smiled. I'm a knight, Ice Heart. It's my job to keep you all safe. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to get you to a safe place. Then I'll head back and help your auntie. That's a promise. Well, Ice Heart let out a long sigh, and he wrapped his legs around Ditsy's neck. He didn't feel that cold, though Ditsy acknowledged he ran outside without a jacket into a snowstorm. There was a limit how much colder she could feel. Okay, it's a relief. Thanks, Miss Dew. Ditsy settled Ice Heart to her back. They hurried through the passes out into snow. I think the train station would be best, she said. We'll put you on the next train out. And if it goes wrong, we can get you out of town. Does that sound good? Uh-huh, Ice Heart said. But I want to see Auntie first. Ditsy paused. I want to see her, to make sure she's okay, said Ice Heart. Please? I couldn't leave if she's not okay. I love her and... I know you do, but it's too dangerous. Not to me. My dad doesn't want to hurt me. Ice Heart tugged at Ditsy's coat. He won't do anything to me, I promise. All I want is a little pink. The mailman was about to refuse. Ditsy considered how dedicated my area had to see her stranded in town. She doubted her foal would want to leave either. Once he heard sounds of fighting, they seemed to be coming from the steppe. Apparently the Wendigo had been forced out of the hotel. One peek, she said. Then we go.